just got our satellite from Starlink, and I'm kind of excited. I opened the box and just kind of peeked in when I picked it up at Jennifer's house. So let's see what we got. This is part of the base. This is the dish. Then a big coil of wire, and then the unit itself. So I was talking with my son, and he said something about waiting for him to get here to put it in. I said, well, when are you coming? He said, well, I don't know. I don't have my plane ticket yet. So not really sure if he's going to come and help me install it. But if this thing will do what they say it will do, the reviews are like, it just beats everything else hands down. And I guess it's because, like I've said before, from what we understand, because the satellites are in orbit around the Earth about half the distance than the others. So I guess that helps to increase the speed. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about being able to get this to upload the videos. Hopefully I can do that, even if it takes a little longer than it does in town, in the subdivision where Jennifer lives. It's okay, because I've said before, if I can push upload knowing that it's going to go at some point in time, even like I said, if it takes 2 or 3 times longer, I've saved myself quite a bit of running back and forth, fuel at the cost that they are today, time where I could be working, because generally I'm going about 6 hours after church on Sunday over at her house uploading videos for the week. So pretty excited about trying this out, and hopefully it will do away with that, where I can spend more time out here doing what I need to do on the homestead. Anyway, but yeah, that's it. Just the base, the antenna, I guess, the receiver, and a big coil of wire. And that is it. So pretty simple to install. I don't think that that's going to be a problem at all. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, this high gain device that we got for cellular service is called WeBoost, made by Wilson Electronics. I'll tell you what, this has been a lifesaver, basically, for cell service up here at the cabin. My service was about 2 bars, and I think it's just right over 2 bars. Sometimes when I would try to pull something up, I would have to wait. A lot of times it would tell me I didn't even have any internet service, but yet people could call me. Sometimes up there at the kitchen I could stream YouTube, you know, but down here at the house it was pretty much, you know, nothing. Standing out on the porch, sometimes I'd have to hold the phone up because of the way the signal is coming. Inside the barrier that I actually put in the cabin, it would actually kill the cell signal. So I either had to leave the phone in a window or stand by the window to talk or text or do anything like that. So this has the router or the transmitter that I mounted up on one of the posts here in the cabin, and it pretty much gives me signal all the way around. Now the difference is that I get 3 bars, and sometimes it even shows 4 bars of LTE service. All I have to do is come in, and this is my power supply right here. Get the thing turned on. It takes just a second for a screen to pop up. And when this green light comes on like it just did right here, I am ready to go. So it only draws 22, 23 watts of power. So what I've got in here would certainly do it a long, several days at that rate. But anyway, that's all I do. So this is a really great device. Now, I'll tell you what, it has helped us so much because sitting here in the house, I can stream YouTube. I can just about do anything, hit the app, and it may be just a short delay, but then it pops up, okay? So it's not like being right in town close to the tower, but I'll tell you what, it has made a world of difference. So if you're in a situation where you're just barely getting service, I would highly recommend this unit right here. Of course, they got different units at different prices. This one right here, I think we paid, I think it was a little over $5 that we paid for this. But I'll tell you what, it was well worth it because it was like going from nothing to something, okay? It has, I can sit here now and I can turn it on, and I plan on trying to read the comments in the morning and try to respond to some of the comments and things like that because it has made that much of a difference. So hopefully when we get this satellite hooked up and being able to upload the videos is going to save me a lot of time. So those are two big improvements that we will have made here at the cabin with a little upfront investment. Like I said, the unit was about $5 and this was about $5 right here. So we just basically spent $1,000 just trying to upgrade the cell service and the ability, you know, not really interested, even though I do have this big screen of watching television. You know, I probably will. But our main interest is to be able to get these videos out to you guys and to give me more time here, you know, to be able to do the things that I do. But anyway, I did want to report to you, I said that I was going to, about this device right here. I would highly recommend it if you're borderline and you need better service. It's upfront cost, but once it is paid for, then that's it, okay? Just plug it into power and go. Anyway, that is the two latest devices that we got here at the cabin to improve our communications. Well guys, I think you remember Steven. This is my son-in-law. We were actually talking about the pig. Now, what he does for a living is he works for a food distribution company, and they distribute food to restaurants and stores and things like that, anywhere from A to Z basically, right? We're in partners on this pig as well as with my sister. We don't know how much our consumption is going to be, so we didn't know whether we were going to need one or two. We just decided to go ahead and start with one and see how that goes, and then next year we could adjust it, you know. But anyway, we were talking about the pig and pig feed and just things in general, and he was, how much did you estimate? Now tell them how you estimated how much the pig weighs.
So I found an app, and on that app it tells you to weigh it behind its front legs all the way around.
Measure it.
And measure it, and yeah, measure it in inches around, and then from the beginning of the tail to the top of the ears, you put those inches in, and then it calculated at 290 live weight and 210 in actual weight that you could eat.
Okay, so I estimated earlier that the pig probably weighed about 250 or 300 pounds, so I was actually pretty close. Anyway, we were talking about the high price of food and everything else that we've got going on around the world now, and I said, you know, could you estimate what the average pound, how much the average pound of pork would be? And it's kind of hard to do that because, like bacon, what were you talking about bacon?
Bacon's around $5.60, $5.75 a pound. Pork loin, which doesn't have to be manufactured or sliced or anything, it's probably around $1.75 a pound. So.
Okay, so we were just estimating what, $2.50 a pound?
Probably $2.50
Let's just say $2.50 a pound for pork. Now that's from head to tail, whatever you get. You know, we're just trying to find an average number. So as things keep going up, okay, if this pig
produced 250 pounds of meat off the hoof, okay, that would be worth $1,000, right? $1,000 worth of meat that we got just from taking care of the hog, you know, for a little while until it comes time to harvest. Now, we would much rather have our own meat than to buy somebody else's meat, because we know exactly what this pig is being fed. It's being fed all the bread it can eat. It gets scraps from our table. It also gets corn, which is scratch corn, or the, you know, cracked corn. And I found the cheapest is the sweet feed. It's a lot cheaper than swine feed, and she seems to like it. So that's what she's getting to eat all the time, and she's really putting on weight really fast. How long have we had this now? 2 months? 8 weeks maybe? And when we got it, it was only about that big around, wasn't it?
It's grown.
It has doubled or almost tripled in size just in that length of time. So, but yeah, I mean, that's crazy when you talk about how much meat has went up. And what's the outlook on the future?
Oh, it's going to keep rising.
Just keep rising?
Yeah, with freight costs and, you know, fuel costs and the labor shortages, you're going to see your prices just keep on going up.
Right. So people asked, would it be worth it to feed the pig? I think so. Okay, especially like I said with what's going on around the world today. So we're going to continue to, you know, try to raise animals out here at the homestead. We were talking about possibly fencing off a portion of that bottom down there and maybe getting a steer, you know, once a year and raising it. That's the way that I used to do when I was a kid until, you know, the fall to come time to harvest. The chickens, I'm going to have to get some more. I've actually pinned the chickens back up. I can't let them out because we've got red-tailed hawks. I'm pretty sure that's what's getting them, because they go missing one at a time during the daylight. I haven't seen any predators up here. I did not put my cameras up yet. I said I was going to, but I pretty much feel like we got a pair of them that live around here. I mean, it was either that or a fox, but I think with the dogs out all the time, I don't think that the fox would be bold enough to try to come up in here. But I'm not saying that it didn't. I'm just saying that when I kept the chickens pinned up, they were fine. Letting them out to where they can kind of, you know, go through the woods and stuff like that, you know, they go missing one at a time. And, you know, I'm in the Great Smoky Mountains, so if I did trap whatever it was, you know, it would just be another one to take its place. It's a never-ending cycle. So I think that the way to go about farming, especially up here in the woods like this, is to go ahead and keep them in their pen, because they're happy, they get enough feed, and it's not like, you know, they are starving. They brought the little puppies up here, and my dogs don't know really what to think about having another pair of little bitty dogs up here. They're playing and having a good time. But yeah, so I don't know if y'all have any kind of a way to raise food. I would think that you would probably want to do that, because it could end up saving you a lot of money. Now, tell us about like prices in things that are made from grain, like flour and oatmeal and stuff like that. Have those prices increased as well?
Yeah, about 70 to 80% of your grain and wheat come from Ukraine.
Really?
So with the war in Ukraine, it has actually, your flour, your wheat, your grain has probably rose 60 or probably 40% over the last 3 months. And
so
there's no end.
Yeah, guys, I don't know. You know, I don't want to be a doomsdayer or anything like that, but I think that it's pretty easy to read the handwriting on the wall. Okay, I think that we're going to come up to a food shortage to where things that we buy will probably, you know, just get very, very, very expensive. And then those that can afford it will still get it. Those that can't will, you know, eat something else, I guess. But if there's anything that I can do to not have to change the lifestyle that I've grown up with and come accustomed to and what I actually like, you all know that I like my eggs and bacon or my eggs and sausage. So the chickens, I'm going to get some more come the first of the month at the farmer's market. And then, you know, you've got all those chicks that were being killed because of the bird flu and stuff. Chicken's going to go. Tell us about chicken.
Chicken has risen at least 60% since January.
Okay. So I may end up extending and building onto the chicken pen and fixing a section where I can actually raise some chicks because, you know, just to be able to have chicken would be nice. I don't really eat a whole lot of chicken, but to be able to have chicken and have the eggs too would be really great. Sounds like my neighbor's getting ready. I went up and pulled some trees down for him that were going to fall on his house. There was, I think it was 5 of them. We had to winch them off with a cable and pull them in the opposite direction, but we did get them laid down. Now I've got my 250-foot coil of cable laying underneath all those logs, and so he said he was going to try to work it out for me because that's what I'm going to have to use to pull that big poplar down there at the sawmill that I was talking about.
Well, guys, Jennifer and I, we thought we would try to answer a few questions. There's a whole lot going on up here, that's for sure, because she says every time she comes up, it seems like so much has changed. So anyway, some of the questions that were coming in says, well, I guess you're not going to do the root cellar yet, maybe next year. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've got so many things that are going. I know the root cellar is a high priority, but I feel like the barn probably would be a higher priority than that because I need a place to mount the solar panels when we get our solar power up here. So my idea was to mount them on the top of the roof. But we'll see. It just depends on, you know, how much available help that I can get from individuals that can afford to come up here, you know, on their time off and help, and how much I can actually get done, and weather, you know, there's all kinds of factors involved in that. But we're going to get it done. We'll just have to see how it kind of plays out, you know, this year. Let's see, there was several mentions actually about the root cellar, and then one guy commented and said, yeah, you can't let the chickens ramble now, even in the country, too many hungry critters out there. And got a lot of responses about bobcats and different kinds of animals, getting them during the day. You know, when I kept the chickens penned up, we didn't have any issues. But when I started letting them out, and it was nice to have them roaming around, but then we were losing them one at a time in the daylight. So the chickens are back up now. They're not going to be able to run around because living up here in the mountains like this, there's just too many animals that have chicken on the menu.
It's either varmints
Red-tailed hawks.
or that one owl that you talked
Yeah,
about.
because we have a pair, a male and a female, that live in this area here. So, you know, it's just best to go ahead and feed them, keep them happy, keep them pinned up, and that way everybody survives, okay? So, let's see. The chickens, I had another comment about the chickens, and hoping that I can figure out what's getting them. But what? What's so funny?
Why did Roger go out with the prune? Because he couldn't find a date.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Um,
Oh me.
let's see.
Oh me. What happened to the dog that swallowed a firefly? It barked with delight.
Somebody said that was a cool looking ladder that we built.
You're
That
welcome.
blanket ladder.
You're welcome.
Hey.
You're welcome.
They said that we needed an SMO blanket to go on. So that's something that,
Well,
didn't you learn how to quilt one time? I think
I'm I'm
leave
pleading
me
the
some
fifth.
answers in the comment section down below.
Pleading the fifth.
Jennifer needs a project at home to work on, so she could make us a quilted SMO blanket to put on the ladder.
Oh my God.
What do you think? Give me some thumbs up.
Listen, where do the bees go to the bathroom? At the BP station. That one was a good one. That one, y'all, was the best I think I've ever told. I'm trying to find a chicken one, but I can't. Oh, why did the chicken get a penalty? For foul play.
Jennifer. This one says, good day from Australia. It would appear that your four-legged mate Smokey is seriously interested in something that's in the bank of your creek. All he likes doing is scratching the mud. He has to be busy constantly. That's all he does. There's no holes in the bank. There's nothing in the bank, okay? It's just solid bank, but he likes to get up there and scratch and that mud fall down in there. It makes him feel like he's accomplishing something.
Listen, he has dug quite a bit out of that bank too.
I know he has. Yeah, he's got some big nails on his feet. We've had other comments about things that we were doing up here, from the kitchen, to everything, honestly, that we've got, because, a lot of times these comments come in not from the latest video, but from another video that somebody may have watched, and it just pops up. So, what we're answering is not just from the latest video that we put out, but it's all from we got almost 400 videos up there now. So it could be from the 25th video that I ever did, or the 36th video, or the 152nd video. But these comments are coming in about, the pig pen and the chicken house.
And missing me.
And and the cabin, or whatever we're doing, so we appreciate all those comments, because honestly, it gives us some good ideas. Doesn't mean that we're going to use that idea, but it gives us ideas or food for thought that we can think about, and if it's a great idea and I've never thought about it, then it's something that I may do. But also I've got ideas myself, and so does Jennifer. So if we've talked about something, we may incorporate some of that into our idea, So keep those comments coming, because it does give us food for thought on, what we can do. Just like the greenhouse. I was telling Jennifer that I'm probably going to start working on a greenhouse later this fall and try to get some winter veggies growing in there. But I think what we're going to do, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to leave it a secret, and we'll go from there. Okay,
Oh, he's cute.
We're talking about a greenhouse, building one of those to go along with everything else that we've got. And it would also provide me a place to do starter plants, like in January, or February, I can start putting some seedlings, and getting those going. Besides having some fall vegetables and things like that. But
Question. Do you have a recommendation? Someone asked, what do you think would be good to put on wood that has already faded? I think it was a red pine that might help it to be protected and fade less from the sun. Do you have a suggestion?
sometimes you might be able to take a sander or a planer and remove that outer layer where it may have faded somewhat, and you might get a little bit richer color as you go down. But then what I used was oil. Okay, I used the timber frame oil, which has the combination of linseed and tung oil in it. And when you use an oil, it kind of, for lack of a better term, stains it a little bit, because it does turn it when you use oil. But it also provides the base that it needs to keep it from drying out too quick, and it preserves that wood a long time. That's what I've used on everything. I used it on this, I used it on the ceiling, I used it on the boards on the outside. You know, a lot of the things that I've done, I've used that same oil on there. So I'm sure that you could use some sort of a clear oil if you wanted to, because the thing about that oil that I'm talking about, it turns it a little bit of a yellowish color. I mean, if you like this kind of color right here, I might try sanding it or planing it down a little bit and then putting this on there, because whatever wood you've got, it is going to turn it a little bit, and it may just make that color pop back out of there. So I mean, that's the only thing that I would really know to do. Yeah, I'd give that a try.
There you go.
Anyway, guys, we appreciate you stopping by. A lot of these comments are just, like I said, they're either about the chickens, which we've already discussed. The pig, you know, thanks for Stephen for stopping by and hanging out with us a little bit, talking to us about food prices and things like that. I tell you what, I will be 64 years old this year, this fall, and I have never in my lifetime seen things the way that they are now. We were just talking about price of food up at my sister's house. We went up there and got some water, and the chicken is going to skyrocket. Eggs are going to any byproduct from a chicken is going to go up. Beef, you've got shortages on a lot of the fertilizer, which kind of spills over into the availability of grain, because you won't have nothing to fertilize the grain with. If you don't have the grain, you won't be able to feed the cattle. What cattle can be fed, the price of that's going to go up high, so primarily only maybe the rich people are going to be able to afford it, and those that can't afford it are going to have to, eat tofu? They're going to have to do something. Okay, so guys, if there's any way that you can produce anything, this greenhouse that I was talking about, I'll go ahead and tell you, because like Stephen was saying, this August we can expect prices to be about 40% higher. I've watched several of these on YouTube. You take and build about a 2-foot high fence. I think it's about 8 feet wide and say 20 feet long. And you get those cattle panels and you just roll them over like this, so the walls of that little 2-foot fence keep the ends from popping out. And you just kind of take wire as you add the second one, wire them together, and then of course you got to clamp them in on the inside somewhere. Drape you that heavy duty plastic over the top of it, and use some roofing nails and go all the way along the bottom. Throw you a few 2x4s on each end, build you a door on one end. You've got yourself an instant greenhouse.
Voila.
You could use buckets in there, or if you wanted to build, some little containers to put your dirt or stuff like that. You could start growing stuff in February, because the sun is what, the radiation is what heats it up, okay? And I can't remember how long it takes to heat the temperature up to, close to 100 degrees, but it doesn't take long, because when the sun hits that plastic, it just starts heating it up. But anyway, my point being that if you got the ability to put one of these in your backyard, if you got a place kind of like we got, you got an acre or two, 50 acre, whatever, everybody needs a greenhouse, right? Or would like to have a greenhouse for those kinds of purposes. But I don't think you would have much more than $250 invested in that whole thing, because the cattle panels, if I remember right, they're like 25 bucks a piece. I really don't remember. Don't quote me on that. But if you had 5 of them, because I think they're 5 feet tall, if you had 4 of them, that's 20 feet long, and your little place is about 8 feet wide. And like I said, the plastic, a roll of plastic is about that heavy duty, is anywhere around 60, 70 bucks. And then a few roofing nails, some 2x4s. You could even use reclaimed lumber. And then however you want to fix it up on the inside, container-wise, to hold your plants. But that would be a pretty cheap way that you could ease up on the wallet a little bit, to be able to grow some of your own vegetables. So if there's any way that you have the ability to do that, I think it would be a good idea, because it's not going to do anything the future's not going to hold anything except for the fact that you're going to pay more for what you're getting now. So don't have that much free floating capital to be able to go out and just, run. I mean, even Walmart, the big discount box stores, those prices are going to be high too. Sam's going to be high. Costco going to be high. I can't think of some of the others, but anyway, my point is that anywhere you can save $1, that's what I'm all about. So I will be looking at putting one of those in this fall. But anyway, guys, I don't want to just keep rambling on. Jennifer,
Notice he told you all about the greenhouse, and he swore just a few minutes prior it was going to be a secret.
I wanted to save them 40% if I could.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That one's for you all.
Yeah.
Okay? But
Take
anyway,
it, run with it.
She's got a soccer game she's going to have to go to, so we're going to have to get off of here. But thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us. Be sure and share the channels because we try to bring, content that is relevant, even though it may be hillbilly style and it may be just simple logic, but that's something that's in short supply nowadays is two kinds of sense. One's horse and the other one's common. So, do all you can about, saving $1 if you can. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. We hope everyone has a great day. You all take care, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.
We love you.